Today I'm going to show you all how to make this peas-based savory pancake. These savory pancakes are derived from a popular Indian dish. This is customizable with various vegetables and spices, creating a nutritious and flavorful meal or snack. The batter is cooked on a griddle or frying pan until golden brown, resulting in a soft and slightly crispy pancake that's perfect for breakfast, lunch, or as a light snack, often served with chutney or yogurt. Alright, so for the first step, we need to soak our peas and rice. So today we're using green lentils, chickpeas or garbanzo beans, and red lentils. But honestly, you could use any type of peas you want. I've used yellow split peas in the past, regular brown lentils. With regards to the rice, I'm using Basmati rice, but you could use regular parboiled rice. The rice in combination with the peas helps to form a complete protein, and also the rice adds starch and this extra crispiness to the savory pancake. So what you want to do, you want to combine your rice and your peas and let it soak overnight in the relevant amount of water. And this is the difference. Let me just pull out like one here and one here to show you the difference in size. So you see the size? That's what you want. You want it to slowly absorb the liquid and bloom overnight. So when it's time to blend, blends a lot easier. So I'm going to show you with the others too. Yeah, so similar to the green lentils, these red lentils are a lot smaller than like traditional lentil peas, but even here you can still see the difference in size. Right, so if I can just push this forward, bring these in. So now what we're going to do, we're going to add the remaining ingredients. Now from here, it really is up to you what you want to add, you know, what your preference is. For the green lentils, I'm going with salt, some garam masala, chopped Chadon Beni, and some yogurt. For the Channa, what we typically call it, or chickpeas or garbanzo beans, I'm going with some turmeric powder, salt, and Geera powder or Cumin powder, and some fermented Pimento sauce. So I'll be sure to include the link to this tutorial, but this is a flavor enhancer here. It's a winner. Right, and for the red lentils, we are also using a little bit of the fermented pimento sauce as well, with some tomato paste just to help thicken it and also help it keep its color, salt, and Geera powder. So your next step now to blend. So if you don't have one of these, you could transfer this straight to your blender and blend it to a thick paste, or if you have your handheld, you could just blend it right in your container. Right, and that's basically the step for each one. The texture and consistency will vary slightly. So this is it after, well, 48 hours, because I actually, after blending it, like to leave it for another day just to continue to marry and come together and ferment a little bit. You don't have to do that. You can go straight from blending straight to your frying pan. But this is the consistency here. The red lentil one is a little thinner in consistency when compared to chickpeas or Channa or garbanzo beans. This is a lot thicker, especially when you leave it for an additional day to come together and ferment. Similar, I would say, to the red lentils, slightly thicker. Right, so from here, we go into the stove now. Right, so these savory pancakes like to be cooked low and slow. So depending on your stove configuration, you may need to cook it to the back or cook it on a smaller burner. Let me give you an example. This one here is a lot bigger in comparison to the one behind it. So even on low, this is still, for me, too high of a heat to cook these savory pancakes. So for that, I have to go to the one in the back. So for the one in the back, I'm just lighting it and I'm bringing it down to low. Now again, everybody's stove is different. My low is going to be different from yours. And just drop the pan over it, and I'm going to let this pan heat up for 4 minutes. For me, it's going to bring it to the right temperature. But generally, you're looking for a well-maintained low heat, because the savory pancake is going to cook for about 3 to 4 minutes per side. So that's a lot of time for a pancake, yeah? So you don't want to burn either side. So when making this, especially for the first time, cook it on as low a heat as possible. Cook the first one, cook the second one, and then depending on how they look, you could always adjust and raise your heat. So we're just going to let this come up to temperature before we start. Alright, so even though it's a non-stick pan, we're going to be extra safe here. I'm just going in with some vegetable spray. If you prefer coconut oil, You could do that, you could use that as well. A third of a cup. And we want to spread it, just using the bottom of the ladle to spread it out as thin as possible, because you want it to cook as evenly as possible. Alright, so once you get that, going back on the fire, and I'm going to time it for 4 minutes. So if it has any little bumps, that's alright. Once you flip it over, you could always just use your spatula to level it out a bit. Alright, so the 4 minutes has elapsed, so again, I'll just bring it forward for you all to see. So a good way to see if it's ready is that your spatula should be able to slip under it, and this isn't doing that. So we're going to leave it for an additional minute or so, but you can see the change in color happening too. So we're just going to leave it for about a minute again, and then we'll flip it. So again, this is wholly dependent on your stove and the heat levels. It's really just a trial and error. So just like when you're making normal pancakes, the first one is always the one you use as a tester. So that's basically what we're doing here. Alright, so just as I said, the first one we just use it as a tester. So we're just going to quickly flip it, and again, you can just help spread it out with your spatula. But after the first one, you should have your temperature level pretty much set. So we're just going to let this finish cook and move on to the second one. And we want to spread it out using the bottom of our ladle to a circle as best as possible. So anytime you get these little holes, just fill them up. Alright, so already you can see the difference in just the appearance of the second one compared to the first one. So this is why it's important to preheat your frying pan properly, so you can see how the edges are almost well, not almost, they're already crispy, pulled up. So I'm just gonna pass the spatula below just to make sure none is sticking. Alright, and just flip it over. And again, just like before, you're just using your spatula to level it out. Going back on the heat, and we're gonna let this finish cook for about 3 to 4 minutes again. Alright, so just as with the red lentils, following the same steps with the green and the chickpeas. A third of a cup, spread it out to even circle as best as you could. 3 to 4 minutes per side. Right, time to flip this one. So you see, even though you get that crust and that brown, we still maintain most of the green color. So just like with the red, 2 to 3 minutes per side. Right, y'all, so here we have it, our 3 different savory pancakes. We just roll it up just for the presentation, but you don't have to roll it up. So you see when this one has broken up, but once you break it, you could see the pancake consistency on the inside, golden brown crust on the outside. So many things you could do with this. First of all, you could eat this by itself. You could use it as a bread substitute, a wrap substitute, tortilla substitute, a roti substitute, just a general flatbread substitute. You could cut this up, bake it for like chips, for like a dip or anything like that. I mean, there's so many things you could do with it, and the best part is, it's good for you. So, as always, thanks for watching, guys. Continue to like, comment, and subscribe. See you all soon.